From Learfield on the Mustangs Sports Network. Live from Humperdinck's on Greenville Avenue. This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. Brought to you by Humperdinck's on Greenville Avenue with daily food and drink specials. Join the MVP Club today. NTTA. Save money on North Texas toll roads with an SMU toll tag. Nissan. Proud supporter of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites. Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Proud sponsors of SMU Athletics. And by Credit Union of Texas. Be a part of something unexpected. CUTX.org. Experience more. Here is your host, Rich Phillips.
Good evening and welcome once again to the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. Great crowd on hand here on MLK Day with us at Humperdinck's on Greenville in Dallas. And let's welcome in the man of the hour. It's the head coach of the SMU Mustangs, Tim Jankovich. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, because I always cheer so loud when they announce your name. You know, I get jealous, but thank you.
Big announcer voice, and I know how to put my hands up and make a clap.
Is there an applause sign behind
There's
us
not.
somewhere?
No, I'm the applause sign, apparently.
Yeah, you just show up.
Well, welcome back this week after a 1-1 week that we had out on the road. Cincinnati Thursday night and Tulane yesterday, I guess evening it was. And thoughts on the week? A tough one, I know, Thursday night, but it feels like nothing to hang your head about after what we saw Thursday night.
I can't even remember the game you're talking about. It's completely wiped out of my memory. It was a terrific game, you know, and it was obviously a big game nationally. It was the spotlight game on ESPN, and as fate would have it, their students were back. It was a great crowd, terrific college basketball atmosphere, and I can tell you firsthand, Cincinnati is an outstanding team. I was proud of our guys. I thought we battled our tails off. Picked a bad night for them to have a great shooting night.
Yeah.
I would have felt badly if we were giving them easy shots. I thought they were taking two steps, you know, behind their range and hitting overhands and all that. So, got to give them credit. But it was a hard-fought game. The ending was obviously very disappointing for a number of reasons that we will not go into. But you know what? That's life. It's college basketball, and it was one heck of a game.
And we'll talk some more about that as we go on the show tonight. But you guys did have a nice bounce back yesterday afternoon. Not quite wire to wire, but leading the bulk of the afternoon against Tulane and coming home with another road win.
Yeah, I was very worried about that because, you know, to bounce back, college basketball's much different, say, than football. Football, you get a whole week to, you know, recharge and rejuvenate and get your emotions to a peak level. The college basketball season is a lot different because games just keep getting thrown at you. When you go on the road, like, you know, you get home at 4:15 in the morning, and then the next day feels a little groggy and you're stinging from a loss, and the next thing you know, you're on a plane somewhere else, you're in a different hotel, and the game's on you, and completely different environment and a completely different stakes and all those kinds of things. And sometimes, you know, you just haven't fully recharged. I can tell you for sure, even the coaches were not as energetic yesterday afternoon as we were Thursday night. I mean, you just can't help it, and we didn't even play any minutes, for gosh sakes. We just watched. So I was really, really proud of our team because I knew it would be a tough situation. I knew, or I know, we always get everyone's A game now. We are the A game. We call it the T-shirt game, and everybody's got their T-shirts for our game, and so we get everybody's best effort. And because of that, we have to give a high-level effort. We're not going to have anywhere, you know, maybe somebody overlooked it or they weren't quite ready or, you know, one of those types of things. So I thought it was a big trap game. Halftime showed that. I think we were up 2, and then we played just a tremendous second half and came away very happy.
Yeah, Shimmy Ojale had 21 yesterday, and man, Jeray Foster's game continues to blossom, and I know you tell us the points aren't what matters to you, but 19 looks awfully nice, a career high for him yesterday.
Well, when I say I don't mean it doesn't matter. I'm just saying he can play great and not score a lot.
Sure,
but
sure.
Do I love the fact that he's scoring? You bet. And his confidence, you can see it right in front of your face. It's growing all the time. So proud of Shake Milton. He had 9 rebounds. He almost had a double-double from the point guard spot. You don't see that every day. But everybody just, we knew that we had found ourselves at halftime in a pretty tough situation, and to play as well and as hard as we did the second half was really rewarding.
Yeah, Jure in conference play at 12 points, 7 rebounds per game, and really becoming just a guy I think the other teams are going to have to start focusing on a lot more defensively, aren't they?
Without question, but that's the beauty of this team is, we have 6 guys on a given night that can get upper double figures. And another thing I do love about this team, each one of them could have a higher scoring average if that's what they were all about, which to me is one of the great destroyers of any college basketball team when somebody starts worrying about that. These guys worry about winning, and they worry about sharing, and they hit the open man and the hot guy, and they don't care. And so because there's the way we play and because of their attitudes and talent level, it gets spread around pretty good. So on a given night, I think week after week we'll be talking about somebody else who just had an outstanding week, again, because of the way they play and because of their talent.
And I know you don't like to put a whole lot of stock in it, but you have a 1-1 week and you get more votes in the AP poll than you had a week ago. Cincinnati goes up 2 spots in the rankings. That has to be a little bit of validation, not just for the team, but for the league, too.
Yes, maybe we should keep losing. We'll just keep
moving
up. We'll just keep moving up.
It doesn't work quite that way.
Oh, well, it seems like it is. But, no, I you're right. It's not a big thing to me, but I will say this. Whatever recognition our guys get, I love. They deserve it. And I hope that we do play well enough to continue to climb the ladder.
And you got 2 home games this week. Thursday, it is an early start. SMU hosting Connecticut at 6 o'clock. That's on ESPN2. And then Saturday, a 5 o'clock start against Houston. That is on ESPNU. And, of course, tickets are at 214-SMU Game or SMUMustangs.com. This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. We're here at Humperdinck's every Monday night from 7 until 8. You can also join in on the Ask the Coach segment later in the show. Hit the Ask the Coach button at SMUMustangs.com to submit a question. Submit one on Twitter using the hashtag of AskTim, or join us live in person each week here at Humperdinck's, and you can submit one with our staff. That'll come up later in the show. Coming up next, though, we'll talk about the first third of conference play, where Coach feels like the team is. That's when we continue next here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
Ruthie's Rolling Cafe, serving up the best grilled cheese in Texas. For 4 years in a row, Ruthie's has been voted the best food truck of SMU and Park Cities. Ruthie's is a crowd favorite among the ponies. You can find the food trucks rolling on SMU campus, SMU home games, and you can find them regularly at Clyde Warren Park. To book Ruthie's for a private party, visit their site at ruthiesfoodtrucks.com. Because after all, there ain't no party like a grilled cheese party. So, seize the cheese.
The Century 21 brand has become synonymous with one name, Mike Bowman, honorably distinguished to retain the #1 office in the world in closed transactions. Not just once or twice, but an astounding 16 times. And they continue to be a proud supporter of the SMU Mustangs. Discover for yourself how the dedicated team at Century 21, Mike Bowman, can make your real estate transaction the best you will ever experience at c21bowman.com.
Go coast to coast with the versatile 2017 Nissan Rogue. Display some fancy footwork with available intelligent all-wheel drive. And go for 3 with an available third row for seating up to 7. So next time you show up to support your team on the court, bring your A game and show up in a Rogue. Take on game day. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the SMU Mustangs.
If you're an SMU fan, you bring your game face to the game. But if you're an SMU super fan, your car brings its game face too. By wearing an official red and blue SMU toll tag. Because super fans know nothing says you pony up everywhere you drive like an NTTA SMU toll tag, just $19.99. To get yours, stop by SMU Parking and ID Services or any toll tag store location. The North Texas Toll Tag Authority. Get there smarter.
Hey SMU fans, it's never too late to score delicious pizza with Papa John's 8 after 8 deal. All through SMU basketball season, you can get a large 3-topping pizza for only $8 after 8 p.m. Great for game night or any night. Order online at papajohns.com with promo code 8 after 8. Pony up.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official sponsor of SMU Athletics.
Not valid with other discounts, prices, participation, and delivery area may vary. Taxes and fees extra.
Are you serving or have served our country? SMU's Lyle School of Engineering offers master's programs and tuition reductions for military personnel across the globe. For veterans and those in the uniformed services of the U.S., our distance education programs provide a way to help engineer our nation's future. It's just one way SMU is saying thank you to those who protect and serve our country. Check it out at lyle.smu.edu.
We're back here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I'm Rich Phillips. We're here every Monday night at Humperdinck's on Greenville and Downs from 7 until 8. We're also on 770 KAAM. And our show brought to you in part by the Lyle School of Engineering, offering master's programs through on-campus and distance education options with tuition reductions available for military personnel across the globe. Check it out at lyle.smu.edu. Well, we're now 1/3 of the way through the conference schedule. 6 games down, 5 wins in those 6 games. I would think the assessment so far by the coach would be it's been a pretty good conference run for you, correct?
Yeah, so far pretty darn good. The way I always look at conference races, though, is with the plus-minus numeric system, if you will, and that is if you lose a home game, it's -1. If you win a home game, it's 0. If you lose a road game, it's 0. And if you win a road game, it's +1. So you're trying to get, as many pluses. We're +3 right now. That's the way I look at the other teams. I don't look at the win-loss. I look at, their pluses, minuses, and what they are. We're +3 right now, which is outstanding. If you could end up anywhere near that, of course, it puts the pressure on at home. You get your pluses on the road, but you can get your minuses at home. But so far, very, very pleased. Really, each and every game. We're playing well. The guys are so cut in. They're it's so important to them. They're very mature about the way they approach each and every game, and we're in a good position right now.
Yeah, it started off obviously with a pretty big test right after Christmas, playing at Memphis, a game that I don't know that you guys played their best, had an off shooting night some. That has to make you have even a little more confidence, I would think, about your team when you're on the road, tough situation like that, and don't play your best and win.
Those are the best wins. Without question, the best wins are when you can win on the road and shoot poorly. When you do that, that means an awful lot of other things are going right. And I really believe over the course of a long season, you're going to have X number of great shooting nights, and you're going to have X number of really poor shooting nights, and you're going to have in the middle. But if you can steal wins on those nights when basically nothing looks like it's going well offensively, you might be in for a great year. And we have managed to do that most every single time, and I hope it continues. That's when you rely on your defense. That's when you rely on your rebounding. That's when you rely on the ability to have poise and take care of the ball and do all those little things and hustle plays that give you a chance to win without being able to shoot the ball really well.
Do you take much from having several wins that with very large margins? 31 at East Carolina, to me, beat anybody on the road by 30 plus is quite impressive. But does that tell you a little bit more when these are the teams in our league we're supposed to be competitive with, they're supposed to be competitive with us? Does that give you a better sign of your team when they're able to take care of the business?
It does, including yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got up 20-something, and they had just come off a win on the road at South Florida. They had played Central Florida pretty well at home. They felt like they had a chance to win that game. And for us to get away from it. When you can get away from people in your league on the road, you're playing very, very good basketball. Sometimes at home it kind of gets rolling and just it happens for a lot of teams. But when you can go on the road and stretch a margin and sustain it, you know that your guys are doing a lot of good things.
I know we haven't seen everybody, and obviously you focus mostly on scouting the teams that we're playing, but in scouting those teams, you've seen pretty much everybody, I'm sure, play fairly up close. What's your assessment so far of the American this year?
Very tough. Obviously, I mean, conference play is so difficult. I don't care what league you're in, but there's some teams that are better for the conference, fortunately. Unfortunately, for each individual team, there's some teams that are much better than maybe we thought. Obviously, Houston is one of those teams. How about this? Just as an example, this just blows me away. If I'm not mistaken, Temple is 1-5 right now. Temple beat West Virginia and Florida State on back-to-back nights early in the season. Okay, I think it's the only loss that Florida State, I don't know, maybe they have one more now.
They lost to North Carolina Saturday.
Okay, there's two. And West Virginia at the time was, had not lost. Now they've lost once or twice. But anyway, the team in our league that's 1-5 on back-to-back nights beat those teams. And that's some pretty impressive stuff. But there's a lot of good teams. Memphis is stronger than I thought they would be. The Lawson brothers are a real force. And so now Tulsa's playing, maybe a little bit better than maybe we thought they would, and it's going to be a heck of a race going all the way down to the end. It takes some luck, with injuries and illness. It takes some luck in officiating. It takes some luck with good bounces and those kinds of things. But it is a very, very good basketball conference.
In the first 6 games, anything that surprised you about your team?
Yes, still the rebounding numbers are just blow me away. I've coached for years and years and years, never ever, and with some great teams and some not so great teams, but some amazing teams. But I've never seen rebounding numbers like we've put up. Yesterday's numbers were more normal, like a normal team plays. Sometimes you win by a few, and sometimes you lose by a few, and we've been dominating the boards like no team I've ever been around. I know I happened to just be flipping through the TV before we went to the game at Cincinnati, and just happened to be Mick was being interviewed, like a pregame deal, and he just went on and on and on about our rebounding and how they spent 3 days, pass blocking and blocking out and all this and obviously the way they pass blocked us on our blockouts, they were working on it. But he couldn't quit talking about it because it jumps off the page. So that's the most surprising thing for sure.
Thursday night, notwithstanding any disappointments outside of the obvious, anything disappointing so far in 6 games?
No,
yeah,
no.
That's good.
Just a couple, and I felt so. If you guys have watched Sterling and Ben for a long time. Sterling and Ben have helped us win an awful lot of basketball games around here. And when you're coaching seniors, they become different people because you can feel the urgency and importance is even always stronger. Your seniors just become different guys. But Sterling's one of the most competitive people I've ever been around. I mean, you ought to see in practice. You can't ever stop. He's got to, hey, one more. Let's do it again if his team loses. I mean, you can't. He will just not accept losing, which I love. And the shot that he had that went all the way down and looked around and came out, maybe possibly to win the game. He was so upset after the game, and it's just because he cares so much. And just for him, I mean, obviously we all wanted to win and all that, but I would give anything if that shot would have stayed down, just because if you watch the way he played that night, the heart that he and Ben showed Thursday night, he deserved it. He deserved to feel great.
Well, you're kind of leading into my next segment there, right there. I want to talk.
How about that? We're just in sync.
We are so in sync. And
we've been traveling so much.
I know. We're spending too much time together.
Way too much, if you're asking me. Way too much.
I might feel the same. I wanted to talk a little bit about taking ownership of the program, and a couple of guys you have that are. You just talked about them. We're going to get a little more in depth of that coming up next here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
Maggiano's Little Italy specializes in serving lavish portions of authentic Italian-American cuisine. The menu is large and varied, offering homemade pastas, signature salads, prime steaks, fresh fish, and memorable desserts. Maggiano's Little Italy treats you like you've been going there forever, even on your first visit. Not only do they have incredible lunches and dinners, they're also a perfect choice for a banquet of any size. Come as you are for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. We're a time worth having. At Maggiano's Little Italy, you get more of everything. Maggiano's is located at North Park Mall in Dallas.
Business is a game, and if you want to win, you have to be faster, smarter, and more focused than the competition. Which is why SMU Cox offers the Fast Track 1-year MBA, designed to launch your career in just 12 months. Learn from world-class faculty, study with driven peers, and connect to a global alumni network spanning 80 countries. The Fast Track 1-year MBA, a major career highlight, only from SMU Cox. More online at coxgrad.com.
You've decided it's time to organize the extended family reunion. But where do you start looking for all the tenting tables, chairs, and grills you're going to need? With one call to the rental experts at M&M Event Rentals, you'll learn about renting an event tent, tables, chairs, and linen, and even festive centerpieces, all from one company with decades of party experience. Visit them online at mmspecialevents.com and like them on Facebook to see how they can help your family celebrations. Get a jump on your winter holiday events and call M&M today.
Nothing works up an appetite more than a nail-biting, on the edge of your seat, fan-roaring Mustang basketball game. So after we swish that buzzer-beating shot, swing by Ruth's Chris for our 3-course menu, starting at just $44.95. Enjoy a complete meal that includes a starter, delicious entree, personal side dish, and, of course, some decadent dessert. Eat like a winner tonight and make your Ruth's reservation at our North Dallas location or in our new spot in Uptown at Cedar Springs and Harwood.
Go coast to coast with the versatile 2017 Nissan Rogue. Display some fancy footwork with available intelligent all-wheel drive. And go for 3 with an available third row for seating up to 7. So next time you show up to support your team on the court, bring your A game and show up in a Rogue. Take on game day. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the SMU Mustangs.
Wouldn't it be great to go to the game without the hassle of traffic and finding parking? You can when you use Win Transportation. It's what the Mustangs do. GoWin.com is where you can book a ride for 2 to 200 or more. Win offers sedans, SUVs, limos, minibuses, and motor coaches, and will make sure getting to and from the game is as enjoyable for you as the game itself. Your time and your experience is our passion. So visit GoWin.com to book. That's GOWYNNE.com.
We are at Humperdinck's on Greenville in Dallas for the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. Rich Phillips here with you every Monday night from 7 until 8 throughout the rest of the SMU basketball season. Want to thank our fine sponsor, Sewell Automotive Companies. Visit Sewell.com to see the showcase of 9 premier luxury automotive marks. Sewell Automotive Companies, obsessed with service since 1911. SMU coming off a 1-1 week, going at home this week, Thursday night. Everybody be there early. It is a 6 o'clock tip against Connecticut, and on Saturday, a 5 o'clock tip against Houston. 214 SMU game or SMUMustangs.com for tickets to Moody Coliseum. We'll look to fill it up for both those games. Connecticut probably don't like coming here these days.
Well,
we'll talk about that a little more. But
I hope they haven't, but I hope they don't this year as well. Right, I hope so.
We'll talk about them a little more later on in the show. You kind of got into something at the end of our last segment that I wanted to touch on some more with you, taking ownership of the program. And you've got 2 seniors, scholarship seniors in Sterling Brown and Ben Moore, who are guys that, and I thought Thursday was a really, really good example of it. I talked to Sterling before the game for an interview we played at halftime. Those 2 guys, that was their 4th trip to the Fifth Third Arena, and they were bound to determine they were doing everything they could to finally pick up their first win there, because it's the only building in the American in just 4 seasons that SMU had not won in, which is amazing that you've been able to win everywhere else, including 2 different buildings, by the way, in Connecticut.
That's right.
At the Hartford Civic Center, but also the on-campus building at Stores.
Including 2 buildings here in Dallas.
Yeah, that's true, too.
3.
Yes.
3.
Yes, we have done that. But there was just a never-say-die attitude from those two guys on that night. You mentioned the three that rimmed out at the end, and I know Sterling was sick. My gosh, it was the first three he'd missed all night.
Yeah, he was incredible.
21 in the game, or 20 in the game, I believe he scored. But as a coach, it's got to be rewarding to see guys that truly buy into the program. You and Coach Brown, too, while you've been with him. Everything that you guys are laying down as a foundation really kind of starts with guys like that.
Well, actually you said the word. It's incredibly rewarding. It's kind of what it's all about is watching guys grow and buy into things that not only will help the program but will help them long after they're gone, and to watch them become, grown men in a sense, and the way they approach things and their work ethic and their character and their passion and their leadership and all those things. We couldn't be represented by two better guys, and it was, to me, it jumped. I wasn't watching on television, but it jumped off the court. The heart that they played with in that game. You talk about giving everything you got. Those guys were amazing. The two of them. If you didn't know who was seniors and juniors and whatever, you could figure it out if you watched that game. Those guys laid it all out there, and that's why it was so painful afterwards for everyone. Our guys were so disappointed. They played so hard, but especially for those two, because I think they wanted just a little bit worse.
And they're guys, it's not a normal thing almost these days in college hoops to have four-year guys and basically four-year starters, too. Most of their careers they've been starters. The day and age of the transfer that we've both been victim of and benefited from. And these are guys that have stuck it out. And, my gosh, they've been through a lot in their 4 seasons here, both at the high and at the low end of the spectrum.
They could write books.
They could.
They could write books. Not many people have been through nearly what they have been through. And to watch their steadiness and resilience and just never wavered, and they've been incredible. I have so much respect for them. I love them. I love coaching them. I love being around them. I will not love saying goodbye to them. That will be very difficult, because it does seem like feels like we all came in together, and one of these days they're going to be gone. But they've been fantastic.
How did two guys out of Illinois end up in Dallas playing basketball?
I don't know. That's a great question. We don't have time for that one. We don't have time for sure.
But it's a pretty big find, obviously, to get those guys. And then how much are Ben and Sterling rubbing off on all the other guys on this team? Because a lot of new bodies on the team, too, this year.
Yes. We have, we don't have many guys, but the guys we have, the culture is incredible right now. Maybe as good as any team that I've been on, and I've been around some teams where you felt like is at a very, very high level. And when I say the culture, just the maturity and being about the right things and being about each other and being about winning and being about getting better and extra work and just the focus, a narrow focus, and those kind of things. It's a pleasure right now. It really is. It's a pleasure every day to be around them. It doesn't just happen. It's not luck. It's a lot about their character, and this group has special character. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. From a fan standpoint, these guys are worth rooting for. These guys are worth coming out and pulling for. The more you know them, the more you appreciate them. And what's going on behind the scenes is pretty good stuff. And I'm just I'm hoping and praying that we stay healthy and we can finish this off and be the team that we potentially can be.
Yeah, so come out and root for them Thursday night, 6 o'clock against Connecticut, Saturday at 5 o'clock against Houston at Moody Coliseum. All right, it's the Ask the Coach segment, and we'll do that coming up next here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
Hey, college football fans, you already know that we live in one of the great sports cities in the country. And folks here know the best place to watch the game in the Metroplex is at Humperdinck's, Dallas's original sports restaurant and brewery. At Humperdinck's, they know how to do football. Join the fun in Addison, Arlington on Northwest Highway, or at the home of the Mustangs, Humperdinck's on Greenville Avenue, where they've been SMU proud for 40 years and counting. Great burgers, ribs, steaks, and more. They're serving food every night till 1:30 a.m. Check them out online at humperdinks.com.
Once upon a time, your car was a new car. All the latest features, that new car smell. But now, Bob has an even newer car. and your car smells like hamburger wrappers and wet dog, Bob's car has Wi-Fi. Outsmart Bob and finance your next car with Credit Union of Texas. Our competitive rates are your happily ever after. Experience more winning at CUTX.org. Loans are subject to credit approval. Federally insured by NCUA.
When it comes to your signage needs, trust the experts at Fast Signs North Central. With more than 50 years of knowledge, Fast Signs North Central will help provide you with a true turnkey experience. From branding and design work to complete production and installation, let Fast Signs North Central make your vision a reality by calling 214-890-4444 or find them online at fastsigns.com/11. Fast Signs North Central. More than fast, more than signs.
If you experience hip or knee pain, I know what you're thinking. Whew. And basically, you have two choices. You can wait until the gets so bad you can't stand it, or you can take the first step to living without right now at yourjointhealth.com. An online hip and knee assessment from the health system more people choose for joint health in North Texas. Texas Health. Visit yourjointhealth.com today.
Are you serving or have served our country? SMU's Lyle School of Engineering offers master's programs and tuition reductions for military personnel across the globe. For veterans and those in the uniformed services of the U.S., our distance education programs provide a way to help engineer our nation's future. It's just one way SMU is saying thank you to those who protect and serve our country. Check it out at lyle.smu.edu.
There are Mustangs fans, and then there are Mustangs super fans who pony up with an official SMU toll tag. That's because nothing says hail to the red and blue everywhere you drive like an NTTA SMU toll tag. Just $19.99. To get yours, stop by SMU Parking and ID Services or any toll tag store location. The SMU toll tag from North Texas Tollway Authority. Get there smarter.
Welcome back to the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I'm Rich Phillips, your host every Monday night, 7 to 8 at Humperdinck's on Greenville in Dallas. The Fast Track with Tim Jankovich is presented by the Credit Union of Texas. Credit Union of Texas was founded in 1931. CUTX is proud to be your financial partner on and off the court. Experience more at CUTX.org. Credit Union of Texas, a proud partner of SMU Mustangs basketball. Mustangs with home games Thursday at 6 against Connecticut, Saturday at 5 against Houston this week. Come see us at Moody Coliseum. This is our Ask the Coach segment every week where we let some fans ask some of the questions, and I know we've had a few submitted here in person at Humperdinck's tonight. We'll start off with this one about how difficult has it been playing this year without a true point guard. Virtually all great winning teams led by a true great point guard, and this is obviously not to slight Shake Milton and anything he has done, but we've seen an awful lot of guys at the top starting up the offense in the last month and a half of the season.
Right, for sure. And let me say this: Shake could do it all the time. You know, he's good enough. He just doesn't look like your typical point guard, but he is a very, very, very good point guard. But maybe not in the old traditional sense where you always think of the little guy out front. You know, so we don't have that, but. Should we choose, or had we chosen, we could have him and everybody be saying he is definitely our point guard. But we're intentionally trying to move everybody around because I think that's a challenge for defenses when maybe you're a three-man and all of a sudden you're guarding the point guard a lot of the night. You know, maybe Sterling is up there or Benny Malagu's up there or every now and then Jaray's up there. And so I think, you know, it's good to get defenses out of position or out of their comfort zone as well, and it's also good to get Shake off the ball, give him a break sometimes, get him maybe, you know, try to get him some more shots, which sometimes happens when he's off the ball. Sometimes it happens more when he's on the ball. So you never know, but really what we're trying to do is make it difficult for the defense and not allow pressure to build where they're going to try to focus, you know, their quickest player or players on our point guard position and make it tough to get into offense. We're just saying, well, if you want to do that, we'll go with this one and we're going to take all the pressure off.
And that's not something that's brand new for you guys. Even with Nick Moore, who was a true point guard, you guys worked him off the ball an awful lot the last couple years.
Yeah. Every now and then we would do that for sure. And some teams did did a good job. Connecticut being one that really tried to take him out of the game as the point guard, and so you adjust to that. Obviously, way more this year than any other time. I mean, he was certainly 90% of the time our point guard, but for me and my background, going way back to University of Illinois. I was there 1 year before we went to University of Kansas, and we had Darren Williams and Dee Brown in the same backcourt. So we just basically, and Luther Head was on that team as well, and we just kind of interchangeable parted. Basically, the two of them, Darren and Dee, and I love that. I just think it's harder to guard. I think you don't know where it's coming from all the time, and so that was kind of my first experience with that.
Another question from the listeners here this week: how do you and your staff balance between coaching and recruiting? Because, of course, unlike football, your signing period comes right around the season, and you actually have one in season in November where you signed already, and another one right after. So how do you balance all that?
Well, what you hope for the most part, recruiting. Most of recruiting in basketball now is done in April and July of going into a young man's senior year. That's when most of the decisions are being made or changed or whatever. So we're not in season in April, and we're not in season in July, and signing is November, and the hard part, the visit part of recruiting is September, October. So that's when a lot of people that they ask all the time, what do you do all summer? You just kind of hanging out, or it's like that's kind of the hardest part. I think July is the worst month of the darn year. It's the hardest, and so for the most part, your recruiting is off season. But if you still have needs for the April period, then that's a little trickier, and so then your staff is working hard in and around practice and in and around film work and those kind of things, and then, of course, the head coach gets as involved as need be, and then as soon as the season's over, you're full boat back into the recruiting mode. But basically, for the most part, recruiting takes a little bit of a back seat. What doesn't take a back seat is a lot of underclass recruiting, where you're kind of going around and watching people and kind of scouring your area, if you will, and getting an idea of who you want to make sure and watch closely when April and July come.
In April and July, there's specific camps that you guys are going to?
Yeah. The rules now make it to where you have to go to what they call a certified event. When I first got into coaching, there was no such thing, and so you could literally call a guy in the summer. It could be July, and go, hey, you're going to be down at the city park. I'd like to go watch a shoot around, and he'd go down to the city park, and he and a couple buddies. I mean, literally, you could do that, and of course, that turned into a home visit, for gosh sake. It was supposed to be an evaluation period, and it was being abused so bad that they said, well, we got to do something about that. And the rules have evolved over the years, and what it is now, in April, there are 2 weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The last 2 weekends in April are called open periods, and that means that we can go to certified events only, and to get certified, an event owner or whatever has to go through the NCAA and say, we're going to do this, this, and this, and there's guidelines. So there's 2 weekends that are open, and then June is closed, and then we go out in July for 15 days to all the tournaments and camps and whatever else is going on that's certified, and that's when you make all your evaluations. So if you really count it up, it's 15 days in July, and it's 6 days. That's 21 days, 21 total days. And I will say the days are about 8 in the morning till 10:30 at night. But those days are when you make some of the most critical decisions you're going to make, during your whole coaching career, for gosh sake. So pretty important time.
So June, half of July, and August, you're just kicking back then, right?
Yeah, we don't do anything.
No.
We just sleep. Just sleep.
Sure,
yeah.
That's what you do at
Not
that point.
Not a thing. Nothing.
And then one listener asked if you could talk a little bit more about the 2017 signing class that you already have.
Okay, sure. I guess I would start out with a young man we have sitting out. Jimmy Witt, who transferred from University of Arkansas, and he is a very good player. He was someone that we recruited out of high school. He's from Missouri, and so he's been practicing with us behind the scenes, cannot travel with us. So he's going to be, a new face. And then I'm trying to think of the order. I think Elijah Landrum was our first signing. I'd like to do it in order if I could. Elijah is an outstanding guard from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's having an amazing year. He's a great athlete. He's probably 6 foot tall, and he plays like he's 6'6". Outstanding shooter, very quick. Really a good catch, we think, and played in a tremendous AAU program, and as well as a very good high school program. We love his coaches. And I think Everett was our second. Everett Ray is local here. He's homeschooled. Talk about a mature, disciplined, motivated young man. This guy totally has it, and he comes from tremendous blood. His name's Everett Ray, and Everett's father is Clifford Ray, who played at Oklahoma, played in the NBA for many years.
Coached here with the Mavericks over the years, I believe.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yep. Everett's probably 6'7" now. Doesn't need to grow more. We're hoping he gets to be as tall as his dad.
Sure.
But we did not recruit him on that basis at all. He's skilled. He's strong. He's athletic. We think he's got a very good future. And then I think our third one was Ethan Shagwa from Tulsa Union. Ethan's probably 6'9", and one of the things I really love about him, I think he's got such a big upside. When he was a late grower. He grew late, and that's a good quality in big guys. Anthony Davis grew late.
Sure.
Okay, so what happens is they grow up a little smaller, which means their skill package was a little bigger, and then all of a sudden they find themselves 6'8" or 9. And I really liked Ethan this summer. He played for Blake Griffin's AAU team. We all liked, our whole staff liked him. But I have to tell you, I went and watched him play open gym at his high school in September in the period. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we really, really want this guy, because I didn't realize he was quite as skilled. He looked like a guard half the time, and he's 6'9", and he's big. He's got a big frame, but so skilled, such good hands, can dribble it and shoot it and pass it. And at that age and that size, that was very impressive to me. And then our fourth, and in no order other than I think this is the way they committed, is William Douglas, a 6'5", highly athletic guard out of Memphis, pretty highly recruited as far as just the number of people. We beat a lot of good people: Notre Dame, Memphis, Michigan, Mississippi, you name it. It was a tough recruiting battle, but we had a lot of things that he was looking for. He goes to a private school in Memphis. His parents really value the education, and as an upside, his is very, very big. He's an athlete. Gosh, I hate to put him athletically. Ryan Manuel was as good an athlete as I've ever coached, but William is. I don't know if he's that level or not. I have to start coaching him, but he's very, very athletic, and he's very young, but I think has a tremendous upside. So we already have those 4 signed. We have one sitting out. We're not done. We are working on a number of other things that I can't, discuss because of rules, but we will. Definitely be signing at least one more person, possibly 2 come spring. Period.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it. It is the lifeblood of the program, of course, recruiting. And
that's what I hear.
Yeah, you do. You've heard that. Good. I'm glad you've heard that.
Once or twice.
That's important that you've heard that. Look forward to them next season. This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. We're going to look ahead to the coming week with games against Connecticut and with Houston. That's next here on 770 KAAM.
Are you really into citrus? Is your all orange all of that? When cooking, do you ever put your fate in Buddha's hands? Is your desire for Meyer dire? Are you the real Lady Marmalade? Are you really into citrus? If the answer's yes, then drop in for Central Market's Out of This World Citrus Fest, January 11th through the 24th. The time is ripe to explore our citrus selection, from kumquats to bergamots and everything in between. Info at centralmarket.com. Visit our 5 DFW locations.
Highland Park and Preston Hollow Emergency Room, the official ER of SMU and your neighborhood no-wait ER. With 2 facilities conveniently located near you, we're able to provide the Dallas area with upscale, quality hospitality care for all your emergency needs, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit HighlandParkER.com for more information. Highland Park and Preston Hollow ER. Pony up.
Hey, college football fans, you already know that we live in one of the great sports cities in the country. And folks here know the best place to watch the game in the Metroplex is at Humperdinck's, Dallas's original sports restaurant and brewery. At Humperdinck's, they know how to do football. Join the fun in Addison, Arlington on Northwest Highway, or at the home of the Mustangs, Humperdinck's on Greenville Avenue, where they've been SMU proud for 40 years and counting. Great burgers, ribs, steaks, and more. They're serving food every night till 1:30 a.m. Check them out online at humperdinks.com.
I drive 310 miles one way just so I can have Sewell service my vehicle because I trust them.
What could possibly make people behave this way?
I go over there sometime just to hang out.
A manner of customer service you'll find at no other dealership.
You can't beat the service anywhere else.
I don't know what my next car will be, but it will be a Sewell.
Sewell Buick GMC, proud supporter of the SMU Mustangs. Visit us at SewellBuickGMC.com. Sewell, obsessed with service since 1911.
Nothing works up an appetite more than a nail-biting, on the edge of your seat, fan-roaring Mustang basketball game. So after we swish that buzzer-beating shot, swing by Ruth's Chris for our 3-course menu, starting at just $44.95. Enjoy a complete meal that includes a starter, delicious entree, personal side dish, and, of course, some decadent dessert. Eat like a winner tonight and make your Ruth's reservation at our North Dallas location or in our new spot in Uptown at Cedar Springs and Harwood.
This isn't going to work. No matter what we say, some people still drive drunk. But we're Budweiser. Giving a damn is what we do. So, if you think it's okay to drive drunk, if you think it's something that's debatable, or you just simply don't care, this Bud is not for you. Give a damn. Don't drive drunk. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back to the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich, Rich Phillips, and the head coach of the SMU Mustangs every Monday night from 7 to 8 at Humperdinck's on Greenville and Dallas. Thanks to the great crowd turning out again for us tonight here on MLK Day. 2 games this week for the Mustangs at home. Thursday night, Connecticut, a 6 o'clock start at Moody Coliseum, and Saturday it is a 5 o'clock tip against the University of Houston. And this UConn team, coach, is hard to figure out. They were ranked 18th in the opening AP poll this season. And what a dreadful start they had. They lost to Wagner and then lost to Northeastern and had people stunned. And I don't know if it's fair to say they hadn't recovered from it. They've had injuries, obviously, that have been a huge factor, and they're coming in here with a 7-10 record this season. Not what we expected.
No, and the record is not indicative of what you'll see, when they come in here. They're kind of getting it together right now. You'll notice in warm-ups they have plenty of talent. It's not lack of talent. They did have a couple injuries, so they're playing a little bit of a short bench, as do we. So we're not feeling sorry for them at all.
Right.
But they are playing much better. They almost won at Georgetown this weekend. They played them right to the wire. I've seen them on tape. They are kind of figuring it out. They made a move at the guard position, and they're going to be a tough out. We think they're going to win a lot more games in the league down the stretch. Our staff was talking about today. We were watching film. So it's still Connecticut. It's still an incredibly prideful program with a lot of highly recruited athletes on their team, with some guys that you'll recognize we've been playing against for several years. Mm-hmm. A sophomore point guard that we think is arguably an NBA talent. He's only a sophomore. Brema, the shot blocker, has been the best rim protector in our league the whole time we've been here. I don't remember him not being here, so I think he's a senior. And they have another 6'10" forward that they start. So, not a lot of room near the basket. It's a team you're going to have to shoot the ball well. You're going to have to rebound like crazy, and it's not. We're not looking at the record. It's Connecticut. They're talented and they're playing very well right now. This is a team, to me. For me personally, I think a lot of fans probably feel this way too. It's such a significant team because of when we started in the league in, 13-14. Reopened Moody Coliseum against them. I believe they were ranked 17th and had a huge win at home on just what was an insane day at Moody Coliseum, one of the wildest scenes I've ever seen in the arena. And then about a month and a half later, we went to their on-campus facility at Storrs,
on a Sunday afternoon. And again, they're ranked about 17th. They're honoring a national championship team, a 15-year anniversary, I think, and led almost wire to wire in that game. And I don't know if you view it this way, but I think a lot of us do, is this was the turning point team. This is the team where I feel like the program arrived on the scene.
Yeah, and it was ironic that they were the first game and it went so well. And I've said this before, and then I really feel it. If it's the Wizard of Oz movie, we were playing in black and white over in Garland, and then it cut to color when we went back to Moody and we played Connecticut. We
had a big bright video board. Yeah, big bright video board.
That's what it felt like to me. Is we were black and white until that very day, and then from then on, it's been all in color, and we have Connecticut to thank for that.
But based on that, do you feel like they're always? You feel like this a lot. I think now teams are gunning for you, but they haven't had teams that have given them trouble a whole lot over the years.
Yeah, sometimes style of play, or matchups. Matchups have a lot to do. I think sometimes the public, they'll just look at a record and go, well, they're way better than this team, But from a coach's standpoint, you may know, let's say your team doesn't play against the zone very well, and so now you're playing a team that plays zone a certain kind of zone the whole game, or we're really good at these things, but we can't handle the big guy in the middle or whatever. So there's always all these variables that have nothing to do with how many games a team has won. Each and every game is a completely independent contest, and it has so much to do with matchups and the types of defenses and offenses that are going to go up against each other. So for whatever reason, our matchups with them, our style of play, the way we guard ball screens, the way we defend has had success. But, we have such a new team. They have a number of new guys, so we'll see if that continues. I hope it does.
And remember, knock off work a little early. It's a 6 o'clock tip on Thursday night with Connecticut. And then Saturday, I know you haven't done a lot of scouting them, but you've seen them in some of the tape you've watched. We got the University of Houston coming in at 5 o'clock on Saturday. We talked earlier, much improved this year, 13-5 record, and in the conference 4-2. Leading scorer in the conference, Rob Gray is coming in with that team.
They're good, and I don't try to watch the other team. I only try to watch the one, but they've showed up. So, we've played 6 games already, so I've seen them play as the other team in a lot of films already, and they keep bothering me. So that means they're good. I keep noticing them, and it keeps bothering me, and it's like, boy, this Houston's good. They're very good. They're going to be a very, very tough out for anybody they play. They play 4 guards a lot of the time, as we kind of play 5, but they play small. They're talented. They play hard. They're going to be a really tough opponent.
And so both those games at home again Thursday 6 o'clock against Connecticut. It's also on ESPN2, and Saturday against Houston at 5 o'clock. It is on ESPNU. The Fast Track is brought to you by Nissan. Each week, a win for your team is a win for you too. There's nothing quite like it except driving a Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com today and take on game day. Nissan, a proud sponsor of college athletics. We'll wrap things up. I have actually a little bit of a bone to pick with you about something, okay?
Only one?
Only one this week.
That's
and
great.
We're going to talk about that next here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
The patients have spoken. Texas Institute for Surgery has one of the highest ratings when it comes to patient satisfaction. Texas Institute for Surgery is a state-of-the-art physician-partnered acute care hospital that specializes in treating sports medicine, orthopedics, joint replacement, spine, and pain management, among many other clinical services. Texas Institute for Surgery, the first choice for care by physicians and patients. For more information, go to TexasInstituteForSurgery.com. Texas Institute for Surgery is a physician-owned hospital.
This is Jason Witten for Albertsons. Here's a suggestion for you. Save a little cash and show your Cowboy spirit as well. On game days this year, wear a Cowboy jersey and you'll save 10% on all your groceries. And of course, I know just the jersey to wear.
Albertsons and Tom Thumb, your favorite local supermarkets, and proud sponsor of the SMU Mustangs. Albertsons and Tom Thumb.
Your neighbors get a new car. You get a better car. They went to a dealership. You went to Credit Union of Texas. Use the money you save financing with CUTX to buy something awesome, like a swimming pool full of money. Your neighbors don't have a swimming pool full of money. Now the Joneses are keeping up with you. Experience more victory at CUTX.org. Loans are subject to credit approval. Federally insured by NCUA.
I drive 310 miles one way just so I can have Soul service my vehicle because I trust them.
What could possibly make people behave this way?
I go over there sometime just to hang out.
A manner of customer service you'll find at no other dealership.
You can't beat the service anywhere else.
I don't know what my next car will be, but it will be a Sewell.
Sewell Cadillac, a proud supporter of the SMU Mustangs. Visit us at SewellCadillac.com. Sewell, obsessed with service since 1911.
It's our final segment this week of the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich, Rich Phillips, and the head coach of the SMU Mustangs here at Humperdinck's on Greenville and Dallas every Monday night from 7 till 8. It's brought to you by the Cox School of Business, offering the new Fast Track one-year MBA designed to launch your career in just 12 months. Visit coxgrad.com for more information. Well, as a part of announcing the games, I do not ever take this for granted. Most places we go, Tulane notwithstanding, I get great seats. Right there, right by the bench. I do not take it for granted. I feel so flattered because as we see more and more, we're getting pushed away from the court a little bit, the announcers, so it's great. And so the other night, we're at Cincinnati. I'm right next to the bench, like I always am. And a buddy of mine texts me during the game and says, hey, tell your coach to sit down because you can't see the game on that end. And I didn't even think about it, but I spent the entire night, especially in the second half, because we're on offense down to that end, calling the game like this.
Oh, my
Leaned
gosh.
over here. I'm leaning over here because you stand right in front of me all night long. Coach Brown didn't do that to me, you know.
Well, it was intentional. It was intentional, you know, and probably I played it off like it wasn't.
Sure.
But then I completely ignored you the whole night.
You did.
You
You never
thought that
turned around? No.
You thought that I didn't know that I was blocking your view, but I was trying to improve the game cast. You know,
Were you?
I want it to be a little bit more interesting.
You make me work harder for it?
I did it for you. Yes. I didn't even know you were there. I feel bad.
I know. You
feel
never
bad.
do. You got. I think I've got to move all the way down to as close as I can get to the bench. Maybe I can switch seats
Sometimes
with
you
Yogi.
can have my seat if you want.
Can I?
There are times when I'll switch you in a heartbeat.
Do you ever, though, go back and look at sideline demeanor of yourself or any of your other staff, or
I
even
try hard
consider
not
it?
to.
Do you?
I try hard not to do that. No, I fast forward through any of that. You know, if I don't know, and hopefully our staff. You know, one thing I know that officials they don't like anybody squawking at them, but they don't like it when your bench is squawking at them. So hopefully we're doing a good job there. I'm just not big on spending the whole time yelling at the refs. I think it's the biggest waste of time and energy and focus that you can have. But every now and then I get sidetracked by what I think is some really, really not good things going on out there. But I try not to. I think you got to go to the next play. You can't do a darn thing about what's behind you.
Do your wife and son judge you based off your sideline demeanor?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes they do. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, it's all in good fun, but I'm going to have to find a different place to sit sometimes on the road, I think.
Well, we'll try to help you
I'll
out.
try to
So
sit in.
sorry. I wonder why you had a little crook in your neck.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm leaning over
You're
all
leaning
night.
funny, looking at me funny tonight. That's why.
All right. Well, I'll try to see if I can work around you at home this week, too.
All right.
Connecticut, Thursday night, 6 o'clock. Saturday at 5 against the University of Houston for the SMU Mustangs. 214-SMU-GAME or SMUMustangs.com. Come out and see us next week. Thanks to Tom back at the KWM Studios. Thanks to everybody here as well. This is the Fast Track with SMU head coach Tim Jankovich.
Everybody. Thanks for coming.
From Learfield on the Mustang Sports Network, live from Humperdinck's on Greenville Avenue, the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich has been brought to you by Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, proud sponsors of SMU Athletics. Credit Union of Texas. Be a part of something unexpected. CUTX.org. Experience more. NTTA. Save money on North Texas toll roads with an SMU toll tag. And by Humperdinck's on Greenville Avenue with daily food and drink specials. Join the MVP Club today. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Mustangs Sports Network.